Hello there, welcome everybody. It's Diorama Don here again, and subject this time is a corner shop diorama. I've brought out the famous half track now. As everyone knows now, if you've been watching my videos, it's all I've got. There is nothing else. I will get round to making something one day. Nice big tank would make a change. But for the meantime, this looks okay on there. We've got a cobbled street in the front there with a path in front of a corner shop. So before we go any further, please subscribe to the channel. Click that like button. Please click subscribe, and you will be informed when new videos come along. So let's get into this and see how I went about making it. So we start off with two pieces of card, 3mm thick. Could use 2mm, I suppose, but 3 is better. 1 is a bit too thin, a bit flimsy. And the two pieces of card will form a corner like that. So I'll have two other pieces the same that will make up a square. But for the time being, I'm just interested in the two sides that will be seen. So we need to cut out on both sides an area for the door in the corner. So this will be slightly longer than this one to take into consideration the thickness of the card. But there will be a door fitted in there. So I've cut this back 3/4 of an inch on both pieces. That will give enough area then for a corner door. So I've cut these to 4 5/8 of an inch. That's the longest piece. This piece will be 4 1/2. That's 116mm, and the height is 8 inches, which is 204mm. Someone asked me, how do I know the sizes for 132 scale buildings? Well, the short answer is I don't. But if you know that a door is 2 1/4 inches tall, which is the same as, oh my god, in 135 scale, it is the height of a door. A door is pretty well average. So if you work out the height of a real door and then divide by 35, it works out at 2 1/4 inches, which is gosh. To 50 something. Oh, hang on. 2 1/4, which is 54, 55. No, more than that. 58, 59mm. Once you've got the size of the door, this is a tall doorway, but the door will only come to about there. Then you can work out the size of the windows. That will come naturally as to the relevant size of the windows to the door. And once you've got the windows, then you know pretty much how wide the building will be, whatever you're making. And however many stories you want the building to be high, that will determine the height of the card. The height of the card. Am I making myself clear? No. Okay. So this particular piece is 4 1/2 inches by 8 inches, and it will be at a corner like that. Okay, what makes shops especially interesting to look at rather than just a house is the mouldings around the shop area, the shop window. So I've cut just another piece of card that will sit there, there, and then another piece of card This is 3mm, then a piece of 1mm card with this cut out, and then 3 pieces in ever decreasing smaller sizes on there. That will make that size more interesting, and a similar thing on the other side, and then that on the bottom. Again, just 1mm card and the middle cut out, that's all. And it just makes for a far more interesting. This will be brick, this side. This will be painted. This will be brick, and this is just the concrete plinth at the bottom. So at least it will make no, wait. Then there are these pieces, again, in ever decreasing sizes, that will sit on the top like that. So that'll make it a much more interesting thing to look at. Mouldings make good shops. Okay, so what I've got to do now is stick all this on before I actually fix the 4 corners, 4 sides of the shop together. So I'll stick all this moulding on and around the windows as well, and then I can make up the actual building, the 4-sided building. It will be a flat top building, so it'll make the roof nice and easy. So once I've put the 4 pieces together, there'll be just a piece sit down on the top there, just a square, to make the roof, which you won't see. You won't see the flat top roof. It'll be set back down into the height of the building, with these on the 4 sides. It will have a piece like this so that the roof can sit on. So I can glue that on and keep the building square. Okay, that's all that done. So I'll carry on and make the building up, and we'll go on to the next stage. So I've made a cardboard box. That's all it is, just a simple cardboard box, square. But transform the front just by cutting the holes for the windows, top and bottom, and it's the moulding that makes the whole thing stand out. All it is just offcuts and bits and pieces of 1mm card, cut out like so at the bottom there. These 3 pieces, ever diminishing sizes, on the 4 columns, and similar kind of cutout there on the 4 sides. So, and the top area, just a simple design on the top, and the window sills, and the door was, because it's 90 degrees, a square, then I just had to cut a piece of wood at 45 degrees either side, and that sits nicely in there as the door on the corner of the building. So what I'm trying to say is, instead of it just being a cardboard box, a square cardboard common or garden box, it's transformed into something far more interesting, just for the sake of a few bits and pieces of 1-inch cardboard. It's made it look a lot more interesting. Well, I think so anyway. So what I've got to do now is paint the bottom green. That's what the colour of the shop will be, and put my bricks. So I've made a load of homemade bricks. They need to be pulled apart. That's it. Using red grout. I've shown the process on a number of videos now, how I make my own house bricks, and I shall cover the top area all in bricks and these side pieces. So I've got that to do, rather a laborious job, but look okay when it's done. And then I've cut the windows. So I had an A4 sheet of clear see-through acetate that I bought from the local stationers, and cut everything up accordingly for the windows, so that they look glazed. But instead of just a flat window in the two parts of the shop, I've made these bay windows. So again, 1mm cardboard, and score down two sides at the relevant distance, and then the right shape in the top and the bottom with 3mm card, and they will sit in there like that. If they go in, they'll sit like that. Where's the other one? Upside down, like that. So again, that will make it look a lot more interesting as well, and easy to do, although not easy to glaze. I've got to stick very small pieces of plastic in there. So that's what I need to do: all the glazing, all the painting, and all the brickwork. So I'll go ahead and do all of that. By the way, again, 1mm card just stuck behind there. Go round with a pencil to get the outline of the window, and then cut accordingly how you want the shape of the window to be, and that'll be a different color from the rest of the I don't know, maybe green as well. So I'll do all of that, and I'll come back and we'll see what it looks like then. Okay, so the shop is finished. I painted, well, you can see I painted it green. All the windows are glazed now with that acetate see-through sheet. Stuck the bricks on one at a time, which wasn't too bad. It's not too big an area. Maybe the bricks were a fraction big for 1/35 scale, but I think that's okay. Stuck those on with PVA glue, and then grey grout to fill as the mortar to fill in between the bricks, and then brush off or dab off with a damp sponge, and it just leaves them like that. I haven't painted them or done anything to them. I suppose I could do, but I think they're okay like that. Put the windows in upstairs and a bit of curtain behind there as well, and finished the top and the bottom plinth there with grey grout again. So that is the shop itself finished, the corner shop. So now it needs to go on to a diorama base. So what I've done is prepare this 3/4 inch thick polystyrene, and then cardboard on the top, 10 inches square, and then cut this radius, the same radius as the front of the shop will be. So that will sit on there, and that's the natural radius going around the front of the shop, which will be the path. This will be the road, obviously. So it'll look like that when it's done. I'll lay my grey grout again in this area, preparing for a cobbled road as usual. It's got to be a cobbled road. So now I've got my levels with the cardboard just proud of the road surface. I can lay my grout over the top like so, and then tamp it, and I've got my levels then, if you see what I mean. I've done other videos making cobbled roads, cobbled streets. So if you're in any doubt, please look those up. So when that's done, I can mark out my cobbles and then put this on top, which will be my path. I shall mark out, again, there are other videos showing what I do, marking out a path, nice and easy, without having to do individual stones. I just mark it or gouge out the distance between the stones on the same card, save having to cut different pieces. That will sit on there as my pavement, and then the shop on the top, and that will complete it. So I'll go ahead and do all that, and I'll be back in a moment. Okay, so I've finished the diorama base. I put a grey grout all around here and waited half an hour or so, and then with the compass point, I think somewhere around there, with a compass, the pencil was able to mark out all the radiuses around the front there, so that was easy enough. And then just with a ruler, square them up on either side, so that was quite easy to do. I put a black grout in between to fill in the spaces, maybe a little too dark, but I think it turned out quite well. If you need to know how I go, exactly how I go about my cobbled street, there are other videos that I've made that cover the subject. Stuck my path on, so that's all stuck down. So all that remains then is to put the shop in place like that, and I think it's a good enough diorama for if you've just spent weeks building your model military vehicle, painting it and weathering it. I think it the scene sets any military vehicle off quite nicely, passing a corner shop like that. So there we are, and all it is, I don't like to be accused of clickbait when I say you can make these things for free. Well, almost. The shop itself was about 2 square feet of 3mm cardboard, which is a matter of a few pennies, a few cents. So the actual cost of the cardboard itself is just no money at all. And a bag of grout from a DIY shop is very, very inexpensive. They want you to buy the ceramic tiles, the adhesive and the grout that goes in between are lost leaders, so they sell those very, very cheaply. So the bricks cost nothing. The actual detail of the shop is basically offcuts of 1mm cardboard, which you could use from a cornflake packet. 1 cornflake packet would make this shop. But it's if you look at the detail of shops of around that era, about the 1940s, there's such a lot of detail on the shops, and if you look closely, it's very easy to replicate. So yeah, not much problem there. So very little money to make, just a little bit of time, that's all, and patience, and that will set your model off quite nicely. I think so anyway. Okay, there we are. If you've enjoyed this video, and I certainly hope you have, then please subscribe to the channel or click that like button, and I'll be back presently with a new project. In the meantime, happy modeling.